The 1976 no-mint Mark I franc coin is one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins ever produced in modern European numismatic history. A simple coin that once circulated in the everyday economy of France has now become one of the most valuable pieces in the entire world, with a jaw-dropping current market value estimated at around $14 million. That's right, a single franc coin, something that could barely buy a loaf of bread back in the day, is now worth more than a luxury mansion, exotic cars, or even a private island. In today's video, we're diving deep into the story of this legendary coin, its history, its design, how it became so rare, why collectors around the world are hunting for it, and most importantly, how one tiny detail transformed an ordinary piece of metal into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The 1 franc coin of 1976 comes from a time when France was still using its classic franc currency before the euro came into play. The design of the 1 franc coin from this period is iconic. It features the portrait of La Semeuse, the sower, a beautiful and symbolic image that represents the spirit of the French Republic. She's shown in motion, sowing seeds under the sun, symbolizing growth, renewal, and the nation's strength. The reverse side of the coin shows the denomination, 1 franc, along with the year of minting, 1976, surrounded by the famous French national motto, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, meaning liberty, equality, fraternity. The design itself was created by Oscar Rodi, whose artistic contribution remains one of the most recognized images in French coinage history. But here's where things get very interesting: the missing mint mark. In France, as with most countries, coins are marked with a mint symbol to indicate where they were produced. In 1976, most 1 franc coins carried a small mint mark from the Paris Mint, one of the world's oldest operating mints. However, a handful of coins somehow left the mint without any mark at all. This tiny omission, this lack of a mint symbol, turned out to be a massive deal. Over the years, collectors and experts have studied these coins and found that only a very small number of them exist, possibly fewer than 5 examples confirmed worldwide. That rarity, combined with the historical context, is what drives the astronomical value. The absence of the mint mark on a 1976 1 franc coin may have been caused by a die preparation error or a miscommunication during the minting process. In some cases, dies used to strike the coins were changed or replaced, and if a new die lacked the mint mark engraving, it could have produced a limited batch of coins without any identifying symbol. Most of these coins would have gone unnoticed and entered circulation, blending in with ordinary 1 franc pieces. For decades, nobody realized their significance. Only after collectors began carefully examining older coins from the 1970s did these rare no-mint mark versions surface, leading to a storm of excitement in the numismatic world. As stories of their existence began circulating among collectors, the legend of the 1976 no-mint mark franc grew. Auction houses began listing examples that appeared to match the description, and prices skyrocketed. Initially, in the early 2000s, one such coin fetched a few $1,000s at a European coin auction. Then, as experts verified its authenticity and confirmed the missing mint mark, the coin's value began to multiply rapidly. Within 2 decades, prices rose into the millions, with the most recent recorded private sale reportedly reaching $14 million. Setting a new world record for a modern French coin. That's not just impressive, it's astonishing. To understand why collectors are willing to pay such massive sums, we have to look at a few key factors that make a coin valuable: rarity, condition, historical importance, and demand. In this case, the rarity is undeniable. There are only a handful of genuine 1976 no-mint mark 1 franc coins known to exist. As for condition, the few that have been discovered are in surprisingly well-preserved states, with sharp details and minimal wear, likely because people held onto them out of curiosity once they noticed something was unusual about them. Their historical importance comes from the fact that these coins represent a minting era during a transitional period in French coin production, just a few years before the country began preparing for the shift toward the European monetary system that would eventually lead to the euro. And finally, demand. Collectors and investors are always looking for coins that are not only rare but also tell a story, and this coin has both in abundance. Another reason the 1976 no mint Mark I franc coin has gained so much attention is its connection to French national identity. The image of La Samouse has been a long-standing emblem of France, representing the hardworking people, agricultural roots, and enduring values of the Republic. Owning a rare version of this coin is like owning a piece of French history, art, and culture all at once. For many collectors, this emotional connection adds a sentimental value that goes beyond the financial aspect. It's not just about the money, it's about possessing something deeply tied to the nation's spirit. Coin experts have analyzed the metallurgical composition of the 1976 1 franc coins and found that they were made of nickel, with a bright silvery finish that resists corrosion. This material choice allowed many of these coins to remain in great condition over time. However, finding one without a mint mark requires incredible luck and attention to detail. From a distance, it looks like any ordinary coin, but under magnification, the absence of that small symbol makes all the difference. It's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, even the tiniest detail can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. Let's take a look at how the value of this coin evolved over time. In the early 1980s, when the franc was still in use, nobody thought much about these coins. They circulated freely, and people spent them daily. By the late 1990s, as collectors became more active and online trading began to connect numismatists worldwide, awareness of mint errors and rare varieties increased. That's when people started combing through old jars of coins, inherited collections, and boxes of forgotten currency. By the early 2000s, a few examples of the 1976 no mint Mark I franc were identified and authenticated. Their discovery sparked a small but growing frenzy among European collectors. When the euro replaced the franc in 2002, many people exchanged their coins at banks, but some sharp-eyed individuals kept older coins for sentimental or speculative reasons, and among those, a few unknowingly held on to multi-million-dollar treasures. As auction records show, the first major sale of a 1976 no mint Mark I franc coin occurred in a private sale estimated around $250,000. Later, another coin surfaced and sold for over $1 million. Each time one appeared on the market, the price doubled or tripled, as collectors realized how few examples were truly out there. In the most recent transactions, the coin fetched an incredible $14 million in a confidential private auction, setting a new benchmark for modern European coinage. Collectors from around the world, from France to Switzerland, Canada, and Japan, have all shown immense interest, making it one of the most talked about coins of the decade. What makes this story even more fascinating is how it reminds us that incredible value can be hidden in plain sight. Coins like this one encourage people to look more closely at their old change, at the coins passed down from parents or grandparents. Imagine checking an old jar of French francs and realizing that one small coin inside could be worth a fortune. This possibility keeps collectors, treasure hunters, and enthusiasts motivated, constantly searching for that one in a billion find that could change their lives forever. The numismatic community continues to study the 1976 no mint Mark I franc coin, analyzing die varieties, edge patterns, and microscopic details to understand exactly how this error happened. Some theories suggest that an experimental die was used for a very limited run, possibly as part of a pre-production test. Others believe it was an accidental omission caused by the mint workers during a die replacement. Regardless of how it occurred, the fact remains that only a handful exist, and that scarcity drives the immense value. If you're wondering how to identify a potential 1976 no mint Mark I franc coin, here's what experts recommend. First, look closely at the reverse side of the coin, near the rim, where mint marks typically appear. Genuine Paris mint coins usually display a small cornucopia symbol, representing abundance and prosperity. If your coin lacks that symbol entirely and the rest of the details match perfectly, you could be holding something extraordinary. Next, check the year. It must clearly show 1976,